Welcome to What Are Those, the show that explores the artist sneaker culture. I'm your host, Adam Butler, back with another episode. Thank you so kindly for being here. Got a fun one today, digged in the crates a little bit because it's holiday season and, we don't need a lot of stress and all of that, man. We're not going to get super stressful. We're not going to get into any deep topics today. We're just going to have some fun here on the What Are Those podcast, okay? But before that, let me tell you, as I always tell you guys, you need to go ahead and subscribe to the Up On Game Network, the Up On Game Network. We have it all, and I'm telling you, I mean it. There's like new shows premiering every week. Now we got a show that discuss film, man. Shouts out to my man B. Dope content on this platform, and of course you can find the What Are Those podcasts. You can find the YouTube, and of course on all podcast streaming platforms you can find and subscribe to the podcast. Thank you so much for the support, man. Also, big shout outs to LaVar for getting into the College Football Hall of Fame, man. Big shout outs to you, man. Big shout outs to the team. Everybody's doing dope stuff. Come over to the Up On Game Network, subscribe, and support. Thank you. Okay, listen, I got something special for you guys. A little bit later, dug in the crates, found something real cool for you dudes, man. Don't worry, we're going to get to that, man. But I want to talk about the year in sneakers just a little bit. Now, next week is the top 5 sneakers of the year. My boy Paul Spann is going to be joining me for that one, man. It's going to be really cool. We're getting our list together. I can't wait to talk about the sneaker of the year. One thing about sneaker of the year, though, we're not going to do anything like there's no designer sneakers on there, and it's not going to be anything that was, sometimes sneakers come out and it's like they aren't meant for the public, to be frank with you, right? Like the Louis sneakers and the, things like that, right? Like the Air Max. We talk about the Air Max later. Those sneakers, the public's not going to get their hands on those. So we're not going to talk about any sneakers that aren't meant for the public to have. Some of them are hype sneakers. Some of them are going to be more sneakers that were hard to get. But we're not talking about those sneakers that are like only Fat Joe has, right? Shout out to Fat Joe. And only like this celebrity A or celebrity B has. We're not going to get into those, all right? It's going to be the people's list, all right? And it's no disrespect to anyone else's list, but this is the people's list over here on What Are Those. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And I'm very much looking forward to hearing what you guys have on your personal sneaker of the year list. So don't be afraid to hit me up. Let's talk about that. Okay, that's first. All right. Secondly, the year in sneakers, pretty much most of the big stuff came out already. I think like we at this point, the Lost and Founds are out. All my Maniers are out. I think the only things that are left that are like big like ticket items are the Travis Scott 1 lows, the all black joints, and the Jordan 2 lows, the Chicago colorway joints, which come out like at the end of the year. The Travis Scotts actually come out this week. I want to actually try for the Travis Scotts, but I doubt I hit on that. I've never hit on the Travis Scott before. Every Travis I've gotten has either been a gift. Yeah, I've gotten 2 gifted Travis Scotts. Actually, 3 gifted Travis Scotts. Shout out to my wife. She got me 2. And my boys got me the mochas. Not one of the mochas. The brown colorway. They got me those for my wedding as a wedding gift. That was a really dope wedding gift, and I really appreciate all 3 of those Travis Scotts that I got for free. So I can't complain, right? I really can't complain. I'm blessed, man. But I've never hit on the Travis raffle ever in my life. I've never been able to just like cop a pair of Travis Scotts before ever. So it is what it is. But I will try out for these. But I'm thinking about something Sock Jig said on this show a few weeks back. And it really has been a really great year in sneakers. I think sometimes because, people like to frame it, people like to focus on the negativity. Even I do that, right? Like, I was very upset about the Lost and Found 1 drop. Like, it didn't affect my personal life, but like, I wanted that one, right? Like, I wanted those Lost and Founds, and I even came on this show and talked about how, it's going to be, they're going to drop so many, and they dropped a decent amount, but it was difficult to get those, right? And a lot of times, I think we, in sneakers and fashion and stuff like that, sports, things that are like, important but not important, right? We tend to focus on the negative. We tend to focus on the L's and not the W's. And this is sort of a metaphor I think that we should take into 2024, okay? Start focusing on the W's. There was so much available this year. Even some, what I think kind of hype drops. Like, I think the Taxi 1 was a hype drop. And a lot of people got their hands on that sneaker. A lot of people got their hands on the sneaker. A lot of people got their hands on Cherry 11s, right? A lot of people got their hands on a lot of cool stuff this year. And it was just so many. And just the number of cool things dropping was so high. It was kind of hard to not come out of the year and be like, yo, if you're a big buyer of sneakers, not come out of the year and be like, man, I got like 3 or 4 really cool, like interesting drops, whether it be from Nike, whether it be from New Balance, early in the year from Adidas. I think Adidas is going to make a little bit of a comeback in 2024 because they're going to start focusing on some of their other, like the Jerry Lorenzos and the people that they have on staff that that they're working with. It was a really interesting and really cool year for sneakers. And one of the things I think that really stood out this year for me was the collaborations and the collaborations from really cool artists. And again, we talked about this early on the show, a couple of episodes back. It's not so much about signature athletes anymore, or even like, let's get a celebrity to endorse this sneaker. We saw what happened with the DJ Khaled 5, and I don't even hate the DJ Khaled 5. For those of you who don't know, the DJ Khaled 5 sold out on the Nike app, but people are finding them joints in outlets, and I think that's good. The DJ Khaled sneaker is the type of sneaker that you should be able to look at, put in your hand, and go, what fit can I rock this with? Can I wear this? And then make a decision. It shouldn't be something that you have to join a raffle for and feel like you won the lottery in order to buy this sneaker and then get it in hand and be like, I don't know about this one. So that's a good thing. Okay, that's a good thing. I think 2022, I just realized I said 20. By the way, I just realized I said 2024 earlier. I'm talking too fast. My bad. Anyway, 2022, I think, was a positive year. And if you think about it as a whole, think about what we just came out of. Think of how we were talking about 2020 and 2021. Remember how the narrative was, oh my God, 2020 is like the worst year. It was like all these celebrity deaths and, of course, the pandemic and all of this stuff was going on. And then we just kind of came out of 2020 like, woo, thank God. I hope 2021 is better. And I think we carried that energy into 2021. 2022, I think, was, it had its issues. It has, it's a year, right? There's positive and then there's negatives within a year. But I believe that 2022, when you look back at it, you really think about it, was a mostly positive year. And that goes for streetwear and sneakers too. A lot of cool things dropped this year. A lot of positive things happened this year. The game really changed a lot this year. People complain about bots. People complain about resellers. People complain about like cheap quality on sneakers. People complain about the low quantity of sneakers. All of that changed this year. Was it solved? Is it all going to go away in 2023? Absolutely not. Resellers will be there. And guess what? That's okay. Resellers got a job to do, not hating on resellers. People with bots are going to be there. Some sneakers are not going to have great quality. And some sneakers are just meant to have low quantity. But if you want something, it's there. And that's a positive change. To me, sneaker culture was never meant to be exclusive. It's never meant to be this club that only the cool kids can be in. It was meant to be inclusive. It was meant to be something that people can explore, right? It was meant to be something that you could kind of dabble in and out of, right? I'm not a sneaker snob, and being a sneaker snob is probably one of the most corny things you can do. It's probably the corniest thing you can do. That's in sneaker snobbery, okay? That's in sneaker snob culture. Like, this is stupid, okay? At the end of the day, it's something you put on your feet. If you got one pair, if you got 2,000 pair, you a sneakerhead. Let's end that. I think that, I use the word culture a lot. I feel like it's a culture. I've explained this a bunch of times. Black culture, hip-hop culture, black culture. Hip-hop culture is a subculture of black culture. Sneaker culture is a subculture of both, right? I get it. But I think that we've gotten a little pretentious with this, a little snobby, as I said before. Like, it's inclusive. And the fact that sneakers are available and it's not just like, oh, it's only the Lost and Found Wonder. Oh, it's only the Panda Dunk. That's for kids, man. And we're not kids anymore. Anybody listening to the show, no, none of you are children. That's children's stuff. So I'm glad that's ending. I'm looking forward to 2023. I'm looking forward to there being a variety of sneakers and sneaker brands out there that people can enjoy. people can feel good. Because when you got a new pair of shoes, you feel good. That's just how it is. It's been like that. Okay, it's been like that. All right. I saw a picture online of a kid from like the 1930s with a pair of beat up shoes, and someone gave him a new pair of shoes, and he's hugging them, and he feels so good. It's superficial. Maybe it's materialistic. I don't know, but it is what it is. I enjoy it, and I want more people to enjoy it in 2023. So I'm very, very happy and very, very enthused and feeling blessed going into 2023. I think 2023 is going to be a good year, not just for sneakers and streetwear and for this show. I think 2023 is going to be a good year just in general. So I'm looking forward to celebrating and enjoying that year with you all. You guys are special, and I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for supporting this show all year. This has been a new thing here on the Up on Game Network. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for all of the support, okay? So, we're going to have some fun. We're digging in the crates, all right? We're going to talk to my man, Paul Spann. This is a conversation he and I had around the time Space Jam 2 came out. Now, trust me. Listen, I know Space Jam 2 is a long time ago. I understand. Space Jam 2 is not the subject of the conversation. The subject of the conversation is sneakers, iconic sneakers from iconic films, man. I love talking about stuff like this. Again, this is the cool thing about sneaker culture because it sort of involves itself in all things pop culture, politics, all sorts of things, man. And this is a prime example, okay? So my guy Paul Spann joined me a while back to talk about this one. I want to share this conversation with you right now. Let's get to it. Paul Black Man Spann.
My guy. What's happening?
Man, I am cooling out, bruh. So, I had to hit you up, man. The audience knows who you are. You've been on the show before. They know all about you. I had to hit you up because Space Jam is out. Space Jam came out last weekend. I watched it with my boy. I watched it with the family. The young man enjoyed the movie. It did its job, right? Yeah. It did its job. It did its job. But, for us sneakerheads, anyone that's tuning into this show, we all about the footwear. And the original Space Jam, one of the things that made it a classic, it certainly wasn't the acting, right? Or the
not
the
by far.
Yeah.
Nor with this one.
Yeah. It's the apparel. It's the footwear that comes from it. And LeBron put out a nice line of stuff. I believe that these shoes are going to be things that kids are going to look back when they get older and go, remember those Toon Squad joints?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have that too, and that's why I really think this is really cool because it gives us an opportunity to be nostalgic for a second. So I did this on my TikTok, but this time we're going to get more into detail about the top 5 sneakers, iconic sneakers from iconic films. All right, here's how it's going to go. All right,
I'm ready.
Here's how it's going to go. I'm gonna list them, okay, and we're gonna comment on them. You ready?
Let's go.
All right, here we go. The first one, and our man, we got a friend that owns a pair of these, P. He owns the Nike Air Mags. Okay.
You know it's funny? It's a serious shoe when you have to say something like, it's a shoe that one of our friends has.
That's all I say. Listen, that's what I say. It's a joint that everybody wants, but no one really has. So Nike Air Mag for Back to the Future 2.
Ooh.
Let's talk about this, man. What stands out about the Nike Air? Well, why do you like the Nike Air Mag?
I mean, for one, obviously, we all know that it's connected to Back to the Future. Of this, we know. For one, and for two, power laces, bro. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, understand something. When you look at it now, it's not as blow your mind as it was back then when you saw it. But still, nonetheless, the nostalgia of it never goes away, bro. I'm 43 years old. Nothing still takes away from nostalgia, I feel, from certain J's, because I remember the time period in life that it was. And for that Air Mag, like I really don't care if you're 60, 70, 80 years old. It's iconic, man. The movie is timeless.
Yeah.
I mean, and that shoe is so futuristic, yet simplistic, but futuristic.
Yeah, that's really what it is, P, is that the shoe is futuristic. It's literally from a movie called Back to the Future in 1985 or whenever this movie premiered.
Right.
We couldn't even fathom. I mean, listen, in 1985, I was, 2 or 3 years old. So I wasn't even, but even when
like 7 or 8.
Yeah, but even when I saw the film as a little kid, years later, it was still like, wow, imagine having a shoe that could self-lace. Imagine having a shoe that looked that cool. Not only is the shoe out, but now we have self-lacing technology. So it's just another prophecy from the movie Back
Right.
to the Future. You know what
And
I'm
just
saying?
to throw a little small little extra caveat onto it that people probably already know, just a little inside baseball,
Mhm.
the importance of the actual Nike mag now,
Yeah.
as far as what it has to do with Parkinson's and
Yeah.
with everything that Michael J. Fox is doing. So it's not only is it something that we can marvel at from looking at it, from feeling nostalgic, from it being cool, but it's also doing something to put good into the world.
And you know
You
what?
know what
That's
I'm
why, absolutely. And that's why these shoes are really, really cool because not only do they, are they just cool to see in a movie and
saying?
fantasize about or whatever, but they also have a bit of social impact to them as well, right? Because they come from a story, which brings me to my next sneaker, which is the Nike White Cement Jordan 4, aka
Right.
the do the right thing jump. You talked about
The
this in
bugging
the
out.
movie. Yes, the
Mm-hmm.
bugging out. Now you talked about these in the movie. What are those? Just sort of explain why you thought not only that sneaker was important, but that scene was important.
Man, and for everybody that hasn't checked it out, definitely go to YouTube and check out what are those.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But in the movie, I talked about how through that shoe, through that the purpose of the dude stepping on bugging out shoe, and then you see how Spike Lee brings the whole scene in together, and from that, from a sneaker, so many issues are touched on. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm talking? I know he purposefully had the white boy in the bird jersey, in the bird t-shirt, just
Mm-hmm.
as a contrast. You got the black people over here. You got this guy in the neighborhood with his
Yeah,
bird jersey on,
the black folks
wearing
with the
what
Laker jersey on, the white person with the bird
with
jersey on,
Magic Johnson.
Magic Bird. Yeah.
And then even with the guy talking about I own this brownstone here, blah blah
Mm-hmm.
blah blah blah. So
Mm-hmm.
like honestly, bro, I mean something, and I hate to do all these shameless plugs, but what ties back into the movie is the fact that we can track sneaker culture to important things,
Mm-hmm.
even when we switch it over to what we're talking about right now with that four, that white cement four, and with this movie that allows so many issues to be touched. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like I say, what sneaker culture has corralled into is something I'm sure that's well beyond what we would have thought when all these things were first getting started.
Absolutely. I mean, you said it best, man. I can't really add much more to that. I mean, it's just a cultural icon and a culturally iconic movie and a culturally important film that talked about
Yeah,
gentrification, things like that. So, whenever I rock that sneaker, there's a picture of me on my IG. I got the Boycott Sal shirt
you
on with
already
the
know.
cement fours. It just
Awesome
means so
shirt, by the
much.
way.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, man, I got to give you a new one actually, but nah, it just means so much to the culture. You know what I'm saying? Let's move on to
Yes,
the next sneaker.
let's go.
Speaking of Spike Lee, this one is just a cool sneak. A lot of folks like the ball in this one. I'm looking at mine right now. I thought about getting rid of them. Let me tell you quick, and I'm gonna start this one off because we talk about the He Got
Talk to
Game
me.
13s. Okay, let me tell you a story about these really quickly. Right, I
Mm-hmm.
was in the post office one day, just delivering some mail. Giving rid some
Right,
mail.
right,
Right,
right, right.
dude walk on to me. And mind you, matter of fact, what I was doing was actually shipping some sneakers to my man Sheriff, Chelsea Sheriff. He was just on the show last week, right? I was shipping a
Okay,
pair of
okay.
sneakers to him, right? And the guy asked me what do you ship? I said sneakers. He was like, dude, I hear this voice from the background, right? He was like, you sell sneakers? I was like, I mean, not really, but I
Dibble
got some joints
dabble,
I might be
dibble
getting rid
dabble.
of, right? He was like, bro, I buy those joints you got on right now. I ain't even realize because I just throw them on because I'd put a little work into my 13s.
Right,
Okay.
right, right,
I'd have
right.
worn my joints. I was like, what you mean? I looked down. He was like, bro, I buy them joints off your feet right now. What size you wear? I was like, cuz you gonna buy. I didn't think that really happened. I thought that just happened like on episodes of Entourage or something like that, where people like, I
Right,
buy the
right,
sneakers off your
right,
feet.
right, right.
Cuz was ready to buy them joints off my feet just because that sneaker is that iconic. And it's not even that hard to find, but it's just because it brings it out of you, man. And when you
So
see
here's
them,
the question:
yeah,
did you sell them?
hell no.
Okay,
I'm looking at
okay,
them right now.
okay,
And they got work put
okay.
into them. I should have. You thought that was smart, man. You would have think that you would have sold them because I got a little work put into them. They're a little, I need to
Right,
get my Reshoebonator products and put on that one,
right,
right? You know what I'm
right.
saying? But no, I need to. Yeah, I can't get rid of that sneaker. That's a classic sneaker, and
Now,
that's why we're talking about it now. Give me your thoughts on the He Got Game 13,
bro,
bro.
the Air Jordan 13, he got game.
Mm-hmm.
First off, the first Jordan with the little holographic bubble.
That's why I got you here,
Obviously,
bro. Mm-hmm.
obviously, we all know that Denzel Washington and our good man Ray Allen made it very famous. That movie is a awesome movie,
Yeah.
a awesome movie. When I think about it, I think about the contrast of Denzel Washington having his prison bracelet.
Yeah.
I mean, his
Yeah.
prison is anklet. Next to that beautiful 13.
Yeah.
Man, that white tumble leather, that black, and the another thing that we talked about in the movie, man, is sneaker design and artistry of certain things. That 13 is a beautiful shoe. That one in and of itself. And people don't even realize there's so many things that Tinker Hatfield and the design team put into those things.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? So I absolutely love a 13. I definitely own a pair. But nah, man. But that 13, I think. I mean, essentially, it is called the He Got Game, and that's what it's going to always be.
Absolutely. It doesn't even matter what the real name of the sneaker is. It's the
Right,
He Got Game,
right.
and that's why, right?
Period.
Perfectly
Period.
put, bro. All right, let's switch it up a little bit before we get to our last one. We're going to talk about them ASIC Tigers from Kill Bill. Let me tell you why. Now, I had these. You know, remember when I was on my ASICs kick?
Yes.
Back at like, what was it, like 2008, 2007, something like that. I was really big on the like ASIC Tigers for real.
They
were
better than the Volt Green Nike.
Okay. I've always really been into like different. Now, mind you, I don't want to act like people wear ASICs all the time, right? But at that time, the Tiger and all that, they were kind of popular, but let's just keep it real. People was on their Dunks, people was on their, their Jordans, and of course we rocked those, but I had me a couple of colors of ASICs Tigers, and I had those yellow and black joints. And the thing that makes it really cool is that not only is it from Kill Bill, but it's an homage to Bruce Lee.
That's why you're my man.
Yeah, see, that's how cool it gets with that one. So I think that's an iconic sneaker. And honestly, I think that one is up there, hear me out, up there with the Air Mag in terms of people that are outside of the sneaker world understanding that shoe, right? Like, if you're not really, really, really big on sneakers, the He Got Game 13 won't mean that much to you.
Right.
But the Air Mag does, because you don't even know it's called the Air Mag. You just know, it's the shoe from Back to the Future that ties itself up. If you've seen Bruce Lee in that jumpsuit, or if you've seen Uma Thurman in that jumpsuit in Kill Bill, you know that shoe. You don't even know the name of it. You just know the cool yellow shoe that Uma Thurman had on, or the cool yellow shoe that Bruce Lee had on. All right, let's get ready to wrap this thing up. Let's get to the last one. I featured it in the heat check. We talk about Space Jam. You can't talk about the new Space Jam without talking about the old Space Jam. And to me, one of the greatest silhouettes, one of the greatest sneaker silhouettes of all time is the Jordan 11. It's so hard to mess up a Jordan 11, in my opinion. And one of the most beautiful, gorgeous Jordan 11s, probably my second favorite Jordan 11 behind that Concord. Okay. And I'm putting it above the bread. The bread is amazing. Look at that.
I agree with you.
But these go just underneath the Concord. We're talking about these Space Jam 11 joints. When Mike stepped on that floor, on that cartoon floor with those joints on, and you are however old you were at the time, how high did you jump up out of your seat?
Listen, bro. Listen. That all black, that patent leather with the purple-ish, bluish jump, man. Don't know really which one it is with all of those things, and understand, and I'm about to take the people somewhere with that one too. Understand, this was going on whilst my man was retired. You understand? like going on, this shoe was going on. So when he came back, and remember when he came back, those jams had the 45, had the 45 on the back of them.
Yes, they did.
So listen, and I'm gonna tell this one little short story real quick.
Sure.
My 13-year-old nephew was here last night, and my niece, right? So they're going through my shoe collection and all this stuff. So he gets to the jams, he pulls the top off of them. Of course, it has the the purple case cover, so he's odd off of that. Pulls the shoe out and goes, "Oh my God, this is my favorite shoe." Literally what he said. Like literally. Now, mind you, we were in here watching the new Space Jam. But then I began to talk to him about that. He's like, I know the other Space Jam with Michael Jordan and all those things. This, for one, I own that silhouette. It's sitting right up there, and it's making me smile weirdly because
that's
Michael
what sneakers do. Michael Jordan sneakers.
That silhouette, bro, is one of my favorites. And Space Jam. I mean, obviously, we see some. I don't know how many years later, the movie's so iconic that it gets remade. You understand what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
that shoe is a staple. I mean, kudos to LeBron and and all the newer generation being able to grasp on to things. Like I definitely don't never want to be a. I mean, obviously I'm a Jordan stan, but I'm never going to be a curmudgeon or this is garbage and they should have kept. I'm never going to be Skip Bayless.
No, yeah. We're not gonna be Skip. Pete, thank you so much for joining me, bro. You know you're gonna be back. Get used to this face, people. He'll be on again.
Always on the tizoo.
Yeah. All right, bro. Peace.
All right, man.
All right, man. That was a fun one. Big shout outs to Paul Span. Let me know about some sneakers that we may have left off the list, man. What iconic sneakers from iconic movies that we miss? Hit me up. Again, I want to tell you guys how much I appreciate you all. Next week again is going to be Sneaker of the Year, and then the week after that we're going to kind of do a best of. So we're kind of closing out the year. It's vacation time, you know what I'm saying? It's holiday time, it's family time. I'm very much going to be spending time with my family. I got a baby on the way. You know what I mean? I got a little one in here already, man. I got a wife, obviously. And so, I'm going to be really cherishing that time and spending time with them. Not neglecting y'all, but just letting you know, like, I understand what you're going to be on. So I won't be hassling you with episodes of one of those and stuff like that. That's going to be giving you any stress during the holidays, trust me. But I do want to tell you all that I appreciate you all. We moved over here to the Up On Game Network this year, and it's been a hell of a ride. It's been a fun ride. I appreciate everybody over there up a game, LeVar, Vito, Cardo, Dustin, everybody over there, man. It's been really, really, really cool to be part of the Fox family, part of the iHeart family, part of the Up On Game family. And building a new audience, bringing something this niche to an audience that probably didn't know much about sneakers, probably didn't care much about sneakers. It's a challenge to have to come up with content and not keep it, and not be exclusive or be so inside baseball with the content. You know what I mean? And you all have been so receptive to everything that we've done on this show. I love sharing something that I love with you all, and I kind of treat this show like a tutorial on sneaker culture. You know what I mean? It's for the person that may be excited about sneakers or maybe curious about sneakers but doesn't know where to start, and doesn't quite get it, but you're interested in it. This is the show for you. And I appreciate you giving me the opportunity and the platform to create that show for you. This show is nothing without you guys, period, point blank. If no one's watching, no one's listening, then I'm just doing this for me, and I'm not that arrogant. All right, I'm not that narcissistic to just sit here and talk to myself. So thank you so much. I get it, man. You guys be DMing me, every now and then I'll get a DM, somebody saying, man, yo, I really appreciate the show, or yo, I learned this on the show, or man, I didn't know about this drop, or man, that person you had on the show was super cool. By the way, shout outs to everybody that's joined me on this show. Man, I've had some really cool guests, some really dope people join me on the What Are Those podcasts. Again, thank you so much, man. 2023 is going to be a big year, not only for myself, but for you. We're going to roll this year. We're not going to do a bunch of complaining this year. We're going to make money this year. We're going to do what we love this year. We're going to mind our mental health this year, okay? And we're going to be fresh this year, all right? So let's get to it. Remember to follow me, MSR_Adam, MSR_Adam. Follow me. Follow the team, Up On Game Network, at Up On Game Network. Follow the squad, at On My Feet Network. By the way, big shout outs to them as well, man, my co-producers on this project, okay? Remember to mind your mental health. As I said before, mind your mental health. Please do that, okay? Remember to mind your physical health. That's vital. That's important. And please, don't forget, and please continue to be great. I'm up out of here.